Abuşimega Bidiallas yeti çaskınas vor Amerika'ya miyatsal nahatnere Haygagani Paris Louis.
Paris Louis. My dear viewers, as you guys know, Thursday night is the English language night. Tonight, or today, because the same program will be aired twice, we will be talking about the Armenian identity to a different perspective. We as Armenians, we have our stereotype about who we are. And usually when we meet a non-Armenian, we always throw all those, you know, we are the first Christian. In my opinion, who cares? And then we go, you know, Armenians went through a first genocide of the 20th century. In my opinion, every century we went through so many genocides. Who cares? Oh, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that I don't care about the Armenian genocide. I don't care the way we are presenting everything. So being the honest program that I talked during the week in Armenian, today in the same caliber of honesty, I'm going to be talking to a guest who will explain to us the origin, not of the Armenians, but the Armenian existence on planet Earth. And the beauty of the Armenian language, which is not only 16 or 1700 years old, in between 1650, something like that. It has been on this planet for almost 10,000 years. So, without further me talking too much, I'm going to introduce to you my guest, Dr. Vahan Setyan, Paris Louis. Dr. Vahan, could you explain to me, first of all, I'm not the typical person who's going to introduce you. You have to introduce yourself. So don't be humble and don't say about what you have done. Just please present to me who you are so that the audience will know who is the person who's giving them the knowledge of the Armenian identity.
Thank you. Well, it's an honor to be here. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm just a regular person trying to unearth all that has been hidden about Armenian history.
What's your profession?
Language. Well, I'm an author. I'm also an industrial psychologist.
Mm-hmm.
And I have done numerous lectures. I have done numerous TV performances, interviews in relation to Armenian history, language, and their mythology.
Is that your hobby, the research part of trying to find out who the Armenians are?
Well, I indirectly stumbled upon Armenian history through indirect means. I was trying to examine altruism, morality, and I went back several thousand years, and the more I went further back, I realized that everywhere that I look, I see an Armenian fingerprint in every civilization. From Sumer to Egypt to India, to Easter Islands, to South America, to North America.
This is before the stereotype Armenian history that we know that started in 301.
Exactly.
So you're talking almost what, 5,000 years, 10,000 years?
Well, more than that. Actually, more than that. There are various scientific disciplines that affirm and also prove our existence, the existence of the Armenian people as a formed ethno-linguistic group, at least more than 10,000 years. Mm-hmm. We have unearthed already the oldest temple in the ancient Armenian highlands, which is dated about 10,500 years old.
It is much older than all the other wonders of the world, the
well,
seven wonders of the world.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're just beginning to unearth all this, and the civilization is actually much older than people think.
We as Armenians, we lack the knowledge of who we were before 301, because as we are so proud even to announce that when Kirko Lusavoric came to power in Armenia, he destroyed everything, knowledge, science, mathematics and literature that predated him.
Sure.
So Could you tell us more about our identity before this international Christian identity that Armenians are embarking on as a national identity, where it is an international identity?
Sure. Well, you know, it's interesting you bring up 301 because Armenia didn't accept Christianity. They were forced into it through massacres and burning all the temples. They melted all the gold. They appropriated all the gold in there. They killed all the Mithraic priests. Armenians were Mithraists before. They were not fire worshippers. We were Mithraic.
Okay, so here's information that it's always given to us that we were fire worshippers,
well, it's a
sun worshippers.
It's a priestly hoax. There's a difference between being a sun worshipper and a fire worshipper. You know, when you say you're a sun worshipper, you're already indicating you're a light worshipper. The concept of light, which is much more, yeah, exactly, which is actually much more sophisticated if you really think about it, because the oldest astronomical, astrotheological concepts were born within the Armenian highlands, which means that they were very sophisticated in understanding the cosmos and so forth, in a crude way, of course, but they still had the time to examine what was going on in the cosmos. So because of that sophistication, they introduced a metaphorical, allegorical astrotheology, which was an allegory. It had nothing to do with humanity. It was just understanding the constellations and the stars. But when other people literally believed what they were saying, that's where the world fell into chaos.
We as Armenians, we are so proud of our language, and then we always give it that spirituality of the language. Surputun, Hayren Lezu, the Armenian alphabet was given by God to us, this current guy, not the other guys. I don't believe in the others or in the new one, I just believe in myself. Could you explain to me how old is the Armenian alphabet that we use today? Well,
it's traditionally, it says that Mesro Mashtots introduced or even brought back the alphabet. Now that's an enormous misconception. By 301 and after 301, everything was burned. So they have to find somebody who wants to misappropriate and bring back the letters that we already had. The Mithraics already were using scripture already that predated Christianity for thousands of years. So you take that, you misappropriate into another person, and then you tell the world that you invented the alphabet. It's a priestly hoax. It has been like that not only within the Armenian civilization. You had the Roman and the Greeks and so forth. Everywhere there was destruction.
That's the human nature.
Yeah, it was. Every time you introduce a new religion, you destroy everything. But the problem is that Armenian had a total destruction. In other words, nothing was left. Nothing. So it's very hard for us to now mesh scientific evidence with tradition. Actually, I would say that science is refuting each and every tradition that we have held the last 1700 years. So now we have this big battle between, do we hold tradition or do we hold the scientific evidence that we have? That's the biggest problem that we're facing right now.
The Armenian language predates all other languages. Is that a true statement?
It is a true statement from various linguistic and archaeological, even genetic, microbiological standpoints. You had Atkinson and Gray published in 2003 in Nature magazine, who indicated that the oldest language that has survived after the last ice age is Armenian. Hilbrecht in the 1800s, he said that Hittite was actually Armenian. So you have all these convergence of evidence coming from different places, from different eras.
But not from the Armenian archives.
Well, see, the thing is, that's the problem. You know, we have, I'm sure we have a lot of books that we cannot get a hold of, and there is a censorship to that. And of course, you know,
till in the 21st century, we're still afraid.
Century, yeah. There's a big problem. So now we have so many different enlightened people now who are after the truth, and they go after it. And Armenia is filled with incredible books, but it's not coming into the mainstream because nobody there to translate them into English.
So there should be more, instead of researching and documenting the genocide, we should start going further back and document our existence and the knowledge that we presented to the universe before the current Armenian state, not the state meaning the state as who we are for the last 1700 years. Right. What area of your research you are so most into trying to find out more? Because I know that you are doing researches in so many different aspects, and
Right.
I know you told me about the Native American language
Right.
with its similarities in words in Armenian language.
Right.
What fascinates you? Which one is more important for you, if there is anything like
Well,
that?
well, this is the extraordinary part about the Armenian language. Just the language alone. Wherever you go throughout the world, you are going to find Armenian words. Not only words, but you have grammar. You know, you have a certain way of speaking that cannot be other than Armenian. So you're saying to yourself, okay, if you have all these sophisticated people who lived there 10 or 15,000 years ago, I mean, you already have in the caves pictures of petroglyphs of large ships that let's say it's been dated to 15 to 18,000 years. So if you have large ships, that means the water was higher.
Yeah.
That means that you were able to navigate. And of course, now evidence shows that there were 3 migrations from Armenian highlands to Egypt into Sumer. That's why the oldest petroglyphs that we find in Armenia predate the Egyptian petroglyphs by 7,000 years, and they are the same. It's a mirror copy of what we find in Egypt with the Armenian highlands. And same thing, for example, in the Sumerian inscriptions, they say that their ancestors came from the Armenian highlands. Arata, we say Ararat and so forth. We had numerous kingdoms. That's the other problem. We have so many ideas and proofs about Armenian history that even the Armenian people don't know about. You have the Arata kingdom, you have the Hayasa kingdom, you have the Mitanni kingdom, you have the Hyksos. All those people were Armenian people, named differently by different people throughout times.
They were communicating with each other with in the Armenian language, or
well, absolutely. I mean, look at it this way: the Armenian language is so sophisticated that, and you can see and you can actually read the Armenian words within different scriptures throughout the world. So you can see they're already speaking that language. Now, maybe we can't really understand it from our standpoint, but if you take the root words, you can actually see that it can be understood. Let me give you one example. Hugh Fox in the 1960s, he wrote a book, and he was talking about people going to South and North America. He was trying to figure out who they were, so he just picked Phoenicians. And then he said, these Phoenicians came to these lands, and they didn't know what the land was, so they called it An-Anun. Now, that's the only way. Now, that's an Armenian word, which means something that has no name. But he didn't know Armenian, so he misappropriated it to the Phoenicians. You see what the problem lies?
So if he knew Armenian, he would have known that An-Anun means a place with no name.
The Armenian language is a new dimension.
That's interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys know that I need to go to a commercial break, and then when I go to commercial break, because in America we say "In God We Trust," and that's printed on the US dollar. That's what God is for me. So, Paris, Luis.
Մերի Տեր-Բարսեղյանի իրավաբանական գրասենյակում աշխատող անձնակազմը մասնագիտացված է ժառանգության եւ անշարժ գույքի, ընտանեկան խնդիրների, ամուսնալուծության եւ այլ իրավաբանական հարցերում։ Մերի Տեր-Բարսեղյանի իրավաբանական գրասենյակի մասնագետները պատրաստ են սիրով եւ նվիրումով օգնել իրենց հաճախորդներին, ցուցաբերելով անհատական մոտեցում, կտակ, լիազորագրեր եւ այլ կարեւոր փաստաթղթեր կազմելիս, որպիսի հետագայում ժառանգությունը փոխանցվի հարազատներին առանց դատարանի միջամտության։ Դիմեք իրավաբանին նախապես եւ վստահ եղեք, որ ձեր իրավունքները լիովին կպաշտպանվեն։
LABK Services հաստատությունը առաջարկում է սննկացման, bankruptcy-ի հայտարարագրման ծառայություններ, դիմումների ամբողջական լրացում մեկ ցածր արժեքով, $399 գումարած արձանագրության պետական վճարումը, bankruptcy-ի դիմելու դյուրին ընթացք, ժամանակի ու դրամի խնայողություն։ Մենք երաշխավորում ենք սննկացման գործընթացի գաղտնապահությունը։ Bankruptcy-ի հետ կապված բոլոր հարցերով դիմեք LABK Services գրասենյակ։
Երբևիցե մտքովդ անցել է, որ 1 սանտիմետրը կարող է որոշիչ լինել մի ամբողջ ազգի համար, իսկ ավելի ստույգ ողջ հայության համար։ Եվ այդ 1 սանտիմետրի լինել-չլինելու հարցը հենց քո ձեռքերում է։ Կասես ինչպես, շատ պարզ։ Հայաստանի երկարատև խաղաղությունն ապահովող Վարդենիս Մարտակերտ մայրօղու երկարությունը մոտավորապես 100 կիլոմետր է, կամ 10 միլիոն սանտիմետր։ Ամբողջ աշխարհում ապրում է մոտ 10 միլիոն հայ։ Ստացվում է, որ յուրաքանչյուր հային բաժին է ընկնում ճանապարհի հենց 1 սանտիմետրը։ Կառուցիր Հայաստանի երկարատև խաղաղության քո 1 սանտիմետրը։ Կառուցենք Վարդենիս Մարտակերտ մայրօղին, կառուցենք ազգովի, ես, դու, մենք։ Մասնակցեք Հայաստան համայնքական հիմնադրամի հեռուստամարաթոն 2013-ին գոհաբանության օրը նոյեմբերի 28-ին առավոտյան ժամը 8-ից Լոս Անջելեսի 18-րդ հեռուստաալիքով։
I have accomplished many things in my lifetime. Achieved success and wealth, living in luxury and enjoying the best that the world has to offer. Built trust and respect. Acquired taste for the finer things. Through it all, I never lost my integrity. Value and cherish memories of my homeland and its unforgettable taste. Kilikia, ultimate luxury.
Գարունը ձեր նախաճաշի համար առաջարկում է բնական, առանց արհեստական հորմոնների, Կալիֆոռնիայի թարմ կաթից պատրաստված սերուցք։ Վայելեք Գարունի համեղ և անշփոթելի սերուցքի համը ձեր նախաճաշի հացի, մեղրի կամ ձեր սիրած մուրաբայի ու ջեմի հետ։ Գարուն, համեղության անուն։
The Armenian language is the new dimension. When we are watching sci-fi movies, we always hear about this dimension of trying to find out where we came from. And what Vahan just said about the Armenian language being the new direction, it just gives me the energy and the anger at the same time. Because for the last 1700 years, we've been so blinded with, oh, God in heaven, He's going to give us eternal life. And such on, you know, all those typical things that every Christian or any religious person, whatever domination they come from, they believe in that. Whereas science right now is proving that all those are wrong, and we were a nation before Christianity, where now we just became just a bunch of, I'm not going to say that bad word because you guys are not going to. Let me go back and ask Dr. Vahan, when you say that the Armenian language is the new dimension, where is it going to take us? Are we taking it seriously? If we go back and change what An-Anun is, who's going to believe in us? Or are there any other words that any other places that this situation occurs and we have to prove the fact that in Armenian that's what it meant?
Well, you have to look at it this way. If, for example, if you're going to examine Egyptian and Sumerian civilizations, and you're not utilizing the Armenian language, you're shortchanging yourself, really, because you're chasing after something that isn't there. You're going to misappropriate, you're going to misapply certain information that has nothing to do with them specifically, for instance. You know, whether it's mythology, whether it's their language. I mean, in Egyptian language, for the sun and the lion is Arev and Aryut. In Armenian, it's Arev and Aryut.
Not in the Arabic language that they're talking right now.
No, not Arabic, no.
In what the Egyptians of the 5,000, 6,000 years ago.
Of course, when I say Egyptian, I don't mean the Arabs now. I mean, the Arabs already ate them all. You know, I'm talking about the Egyptians who...
So as a scientist who's researching the ancient Egyptian language and the meanings, if he knows Armenian, he's going to look at the issue from different perspective.
Absolutely.
Than not knowing Armenian.
We are opening up a new dimension by introducing the Armenian language, and actually it was used before the Armenian genocide, even before the 1800s. But when the Armenian genocide happened, that's where the other destruction started. In other words, we have falsifications of Armenian history throughout the world in the academia. Armenian professors, foreign professors falsifying Armenian history. We have the Armenian genocide. Imagine we are behind 100 years, and throughout that 100 years, others have been writing their own stories.
Yeah.
Now we're trying to catch up, basically.
So basically, this is another systematic way of destroying world history. Now we leave the Armenian situation, the Armenian identity, and what we have given to planet Earth. Here is a falsification or misguiding the general public in what ancient history is. What is mythology in Armenian culture? Do we follow it right today, or we have forgotten about all our mythological characters?
Actually, no. We are still. There's more and more people going back to the concept of the previous Mithraik mythology in a different tangent, but at least they're trying to remember what it was before Christianity. There are a lot of elements within Christianity that comes from Mithraism. From the disciples to the Last Supper and so forth. That's all Mithraic dimensions immersed into Christianity. And of course, you had to destroy Mithraism for Christianity to take off. Of course, absolutely. Even the Revelations is all about Mithraism. They just changed Mithra into Jesus, if you look at it that way. It's exactly the way. I mean, if you really look at it, you can see they were talking
why
about
the
Mithra.
human being today who he or she is more intelligent, more open, more in charge of their own life, they can't distinguish with all this mispresentation of what history is?
Well, this is the problem. I mean, we grow up in an indoctrinated format. In other words, we get indoctrinated through religion. We are provided with tradition as opposed to an actual history. So when the time comes for it to actually do rational thinking, you already have this big problem where you can't really think straight. You have to uphold your tradition, you have to uphold your religion. So because of that, all these doors that should have been open for you is already closed. So you need a certain kind of guidance, some energy for it to go toward, determining what your history is all about, what you were before.
Just recently, 2 months ago, they announced a finding in Bolivia that had Armenian carvings, Armenian letters carved on it, and they carbon dated it for 5,000 years. In your opinion, Bolivia and Armenia not in Colombia, Armenia in Central Asia, what's the connection there?
Well, in South America, well, this is the thing. It's actually pottery. It was a couple of years ago, and they found at least 9 Armenian letters. That's dated about 4,000 years. Now, in a traditional sense, our alphabet is supposed to have been invented, around the early 400s. But we're going back now several thousand years before that. So this is what I'm talking about. That all this information that we have within the traditional sense, it's all misconception. It's all a priestly hoax for them to reinvent the Armenian history, give these people a new sense of who they are, completely detached from history, from their ancestors altogether. So now for myself, I have found the ancestors now. Now I'm trying to help other people see their ancestors, and by actually making sure that Armenian history survives, we help other people's history survive. For instance, Native Americans. Native Americans history.
What do we have to do with Native Americans?
Well, Native American history and their people have been through genocides as well and through massacres. And within the Navajo community, there are certain words and certain grammar that they have, which is exactly Armenian. For instance, if they want to say, what is this? They say, Inchpana he. We say, Inchpana. Another example would be if the elderly wants to provide good advice to their grandchildren, they always end every word with the letter E. And for us, E is very important because we already have E.
And signifies
6,000 years ago, carved in a stone. Christianity now uses as its divine meaning.
Unfortunately, I'm running out of time, but I will invite you back again to other shows that we're going to talk about this thing. Thank you very much for today's just this brief introduction. And I have always said what I say, but now you're giving me more power to say it again.
I'm glad. Thank you.
what I'm saying right now is, I know everybody thinks that I'm against religion, I'm against God, I don't believe in Jesus, and I don't believe even in Muhammad, in Buddha, and all those things. Religion is here to destroy. And from what we are hearing today, I will say it, and I don't care what you guys will feel. Christianity is the worst enemy of the Armenian nation. That race that was a huge power and today is nothing. So please stay tuned for other programs where we'll be talking about this thing. If you got mad at me because I insulted your God, my dear fellow Armenian, you've been insulting my Armenianism for almost 1700 years. It's about time for me to start to insult you. Paris, Luis.
Աբուշի մեկը պիտի լաս, եթե չհասկնաս, որ Ամերիկայի Միացյալ Նահանգները հայկական է։ Paris, Luis.